Okay, folks, so for many teens, back to school means back to band practice, back to homework, and back to stress.
Stress can lead to acne, so board-certified dermatologist Sherry Ingraham is joining us now with a lesson on beating these breakouts, along with Alexa, who we're going to hear from in just a moment. Ladies, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. Let's first start off. I think we think, what is acne? I mean, I know what it looks like. We all know what it looks like, but what is it?
So acne is essentially a multifactorial process which starts with the clogging of the hair follicle, the pilosebaceous unit. So we now know that our skin abnormally sheds, and when it abnormally sheds, the cells build up, clog up, then P. acnes comes in, androgen stimulates sebum production, especially when you become a teenager, and you create this environment for the growth of bacteria. The bacteria causes an inflammatory cascade, and you get a pimple. Some people get comedones, which are those initial lesions, blackheads and whiteheads, but then they go on to be cysts, nodules, and then some people lead to scarring.
Sorry, could you repeat all that from the beginning? Because no, just kidding. Okay, so that leads to a pimple or a breakout, a series of pimples. What have you brought today to help us prevent those cloggages from happening?
That's the important thing. Now we know more that it is the clogging of that hair follicle. So most products you're looking for are uncloggers. You want things that have salicylic acid in it. You want products like Effaclar that have lipohydroxy acid, which is a derivative of salicylic acid, a new molecule that penetrates deeper into the follicle and sheds those cells one by one gently so you don't get as dry and irritated. So there is a wealth of products over the counter, but you're looking for sal acid, LHA, benzoyl peroxide.
And could kids use this? Teens, preteens use this?
Absolutely. Really, the majority of products everyone can use.
Great.
Teens tend to be greasier, more androgens. So you're going to look at products for oily skin that have a higher concentration of sal acid or benzoyl peroxide. Women, perhaps in their 30s and 40s, which are a huge subset of patients with acne, look for gentle products that gently exfoliate. So LHA products, lipohydroxy acid, which is in Effaclar, is great. CeraVe makes a good gentle cleanser, or my favorite are the micellar waters.
Yeah, super popular right now. Ladies, take off the makeup every night. You have to, right?
Yes, you know I love a good micellar water because not only will they remove makeup, so they can remove eye makeup, skin makeup, pore clogging, debris, sunscreen, which we should all use, but also they are oil-based products, so they don't strip the skin of the natural barrier you need, because we all want to not only protect our skin and maintain our barrier for anti-aging, we don't want to be wrinkly and dry, but we want to get rid of that extra debris and pore clogging material.
Before we move on to some of these other items in the demo you're going to show us on Alexa, is it a myth that if you eat a bunch of pizza, your face will break out?
Or chocolate?
Is diet part of this?
Diet is a huge part of it. Thank you for asking. It is huge, and more data is coming out every day. So about 5 years ago, we got really into the dairy causes acne motif. And we know that anything that stimulates insulin-like growth factor, which dairy products do and sugary foods do. So chocolate is not only default. Sugary foods stimulate insulin-like growth factor. They can stimulate the formation of acne. So I tell my teens, and teenage boys look at me in absolute horror.
They hate hearing this.
Give me my milk. And I tell them, no more cups of milk. A little bit in your coffee is not going to hurt you. But if you can drink almond milk, flax milk, I say go to Whole Foods, line them up, get your almond milk, your soy milk, your flax milk, find one you or your children will use and switch to that. We take kids off of dairy and it makes a huge difference.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Whey protein too, also in the literature. If your kids drink a lot of whey shakes, so do veggie protein.
Yeah, always better. Okay, so what are we moving on to next?
We're moving on to treatment. So it's nighttime. The most important thing in your regimen is, if you're a teenager, an adult, you got to get on a retinoid if you have acne scarring. So there are some over-the-counter retinoids I love, like this MD Rejuvena product. Also, there are products designed to reduce oil. That's something I get asked all the time. What do I do about my oiliness? So Cetaphil makes a great over-the-counter oil-reducing lotion. SkinCeuticals makes Blemish and Age Defense, which is a favorite of patients. It reduces oil production with dioic acid. Neutrogena makes some great over-the-counter masks. This is a benzoyl peroxide mask that will basically suck up the oil. And then something also to think about is, if you are at the point, people always say, like, do I bring my kid to you now? What is that threshold when you bring someone to the dermatologist, right? So if their skin is causing them to be self-conscious, if they're depressed, if they're withdrawn, if they're ashamed, if you see visible scarring, it is time to take them to a dermatologist office.
get that looked at.
It can be hard. It can be really embarrassing.
Absolutely.
It is, and it's preventable. It's preventable, which brings us to talk about Alexa and her story, because Alexa's been my patient now for about 6 years. So why don't you tell them about your acne experience?
Yeah, so I started coming to Dr. Ingraham when I was an early teen, and that's when I started to get my really bad acne. I started using topicals. I was doing oral antibiotics. I was even doing some laser treatments in office, and that helped a lot. But it was definitely emotionally scarring for me. It was hard. You know, as a teenager, it's already hard. And then on top of that, it is, exactly. And on top of that, you're putting something on your face, you know, that's ugly, and other people are staring at it too, and you notice it. So it was hard for me. But I mean, thanks to sticking to my orals and my topicals, sticking to my skincare regimen religiously, that helped a lot. Dr. Ingraham.
She's a great patient, and really your mother motivated you and your brother to come in. And so I think a lot of times kids don't know, and they don't know what their options are. I think parents have to take that initiative, especially if they've had acne and scarring, which can be hereditary, because early intervention is key. And my job, I always tell people, is to prevent scarring, because once you have scarring, then we have to talk about other treatment options.
So we have about a minute left, Dr. Ingraham. What were you going to show us on Alexa?
So I was going to show you two things. So this is Epiduo. This is a prescription combination of a retinoid and benzoyl peroxide that she has actually used. And the great thing about Epiduo is data has actually come out. They've done the clinical trials specifically looking at acne scarring, and they've found that using this product can prevent scarring. So that's something I want to advocate to people. There are options. If you do have acne scarring, what's fabulous is microneedling. And so this is the skin pin device, and this is an FDA approved device that we love. It's almost a magic wand for us. It's a very affordable treatment. There's minimal downtime. So I tell people the treatment itself takes only a few minutes. You wear a numbing cream for about 15 minutes, and then one of our estheticians performs the treatment. And during this treatment, you're poking thousands of tiny microscopic channels into the skin. And what this does is wound the skin essentially in a controlled manner and stimulate collagen. So not just for scarring, we use it for wrinkling, but it is fabulous for scarring, and you can use it in all skin types.
It is great information.
It is. And Alexa, you did a chemical peel earlier, so that's what we're seeing flaking off her face. But without any base or foundation on your skin, I have to say it's come a long way from those photos we saw. So Alexa, thank you, Dr. Ingraham. It's great seeing you. I want skin like yours too, Dr. Ingraham. Whatever you're doing, I will do.
I want your puppy.
Not going to happen. Let's talk after the show. And in the meantime, if you'd like more info on how you can battle your own breakouts, just visit advanceddermatologymd.com.